everyone, welcome and welcome back to JUENFO Kitchen, where we just enjoy food. So let's enjoy some delicious fall off the bone tender cow foot with beans. I have some cow foot here that I washed earlier with vinegar, and I'm gonna season this and leave it in my fridge overnight, which is recommended given the time frame that we're gonna be cooking this in. Now to season, I have both dried and fresh seasonings here. For my dried seasonings, I have some all-purpose seasoning, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and some black pepper. And for my fresh seasonings, I have some onion, garlic, thyme, and all of that, which I'll be listing in the recipe. So I have my fresh seasonings here in this little blender cup because I'll be giving them a rough blend, but you can chop yours up if you'd like. If you have green seasoning, you can go ahead and use a couple tablespoons of that, since essentially this is what I'll be blending. I have 2 recipes here on the channel, so I'll go ahead and list them for you guys so you can check them out if you're interested. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of oil for blending. So I'm gonna add most of the green seasoning now, and I'm gonna leave back about a tablespoon to add closer to the end. A teaspoon of browning for color, a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. I know that some brands are a little bit stronger than some, and we don't necessarily want our meat to be too dark. And I'm gonna leave this in the fridge to marinate overnight. Okay, so I removed this from the fridge about half an hour ago just to get the chill from off of it. Half an hour to an hour depending on how hot your kitchen is. Now I have a little bit of vegetable oil here in my pot, which is smoking hot, and I'm gonna add my cow foot to this. Once I add the cow foot, I'm not gonna move it for about a minute because I want it to sear up nicely. After sauteing for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this to my pressure cooker here. Add about 4 cups of hot water, or you can just add enough water to cover it. And I'm gonna allow this to pressure cook for around 40 minutes. You can check on it at the 30-minute mark, but personally I find that 40 to 45 minutes is ideal. And I should mention that it's 40 to 45 minutes from the time it starts to pressure cook, not from the time that I put it on my stove. After 40 minutes of pressure cooking, this is what we have. So it's tender enough to cut down the cooking time significantly, but it's still firm enough where we can cook it down a bit more in order to get that slow cooked taste and develop some more of that flavor. Without the use of the pressure cooker, this can take you up to 3 hours to cook. So a pressure cooker is one kitchen tool that I highly recommend that you invest in if you don't own one. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this back to the pot that we sauteed it in earlier, with some more hot water. The remainder of our fresh seasoning blend, just to bump up the flavors a bit and add a bit more freshness to the dish. I'm also gonna add 3 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. I'm gonna add a little bit of this sweet and spicy sauce that I really like. 2 teaspoons of that. If you don't have the sweet and spicy sauce, you could add 2 teaspoons of sugar instead. And this doesn't make it sweet. All it does is to help balance out the flavors a bit. And remember, you can always taste and adjust according to your preference. Now I'm gonna cover and allow this to cook down for another 20 minutes or so on medium-low heat. Alright guys, after another 20 minutes, this is what we have. It's not quite there yet. It still has a little way to go. You can just use your fork to check for doneness. I like my cow foot to be cooked very, very soft, so I'm gonna let it go for a bit more. I also went ahead and skimmed off all this excess oil that floated to the top, which I highly recommend. And this is my Scotch bonnet pepper that I added whole. I didn't remember to add it to my seasoning blend, so I just added this whole one straight to the pot. And this is a good way to get the flavor of the Scotch bonnet pepper if you don't like spice. Instead of blending or chopping it, just add the whole pepper to the pot. And if your pot needs more water, you can top it up accordingly. And remember to add hot water. Alright guys, after another 20 minutes, our cow foot is finally done. And these are so fall off the bone tender. Add 1 can of broad beans, which I've already drained. You could also use butter beans as well. I'm gonna carefully mix these in because I don't want to break them up. And then leave this for another minute in order for the flavors to come together. I like to add my beans last because these are canned beans and they are very soft and I want them to hold up. I really enjoy this cow foot and beans. It brought back childhood memories living at my grandparents' house and having this for Sunday dinner. Check out these delicious oxtail recipes. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Connect with me on my other socials. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and until next time, live life to the fullest and just enjoy food.